coming. The support means more than you can ever imagine. I had people reach out to me that I had never met before. People that had been in Brittany's lives. Hadn't seen her in 10 plus years, and from school, from work to even people from church when she was younger. So it just shows how many people cared and loved Brittany. And of course, the reason so many people loved her is, she was one of the most caring people you could ever meet in the world. I saw her help so many people, from friends to family, myself included. Even when she barely had anything to give, she would give it. She had a heart of gold. She was always thinking of others. We lived together for a while. If she was going to Ann's for chili dogs, everybody knew who Ann's is. Everybody was getting chili dogs. If she was going out for snowballs, everybody was getting snowballs. About a year ago, I was at work, and I get a phone call from her, and she's at a pet store, and she's buying her son SJ a lizard, a bearded dragon. And she's like, hey, can Landon have a bearded dragon? My son Landon. And I'm like, no. So she's like, okay, cool. And hung up, and I didn't think about it again. So I get home from work that night, and guess what?
The bearded dragon.
Thanks, Britt. But now we hold that bearded dragon near and dear to our hearts even more now. She wasn't saying no to her nephew getting a dragon. Brittany was born June 29th, 1991, which is a really good birthday. It's summertime, school's out, so I was always kind of a little jealous of that. We spent the first few years of our childhood, we lived in Linthicum with our grandparents, our Aunt Joan, our uncle, and it was a nice childhood. And we learned quickly, when Brittany was young, that she wasn't just a sweet, wild little girl, that she was also very, very clumsy. The poor girl, she beat the crap out of herself when she was little, and seemed like her teeth were always what took the punishment. She knocked them out faster than they could grow in. And me being the mean older brother, I always made fun of her for it, like, snaggletooth, I thought they'd be messed up forever, but turned out she had a perfect smile, perfect teeth. Sorry. But, she never really outgrew that clumsiness either. Even when she was grown, I'd be sitting in the living room, and then all of a sudden I hear like, she done fell down the basement steps again. I come running scared because it sounded bad. I'm thinking she's hurt, and she's just laying there laughing. Alright, cool. She was a tough cookie. So, but I give her credit though. As clumsy she was just as fearless. She was never scared to do something first, or any adventure. We took the kids to Great Wolf Lodge a couple years ago. It's pretty much a resort with an indoor water park. So they have this one ride. It's like you go into a funnel. It's pretty much like a giant toilet. So and it's high, really high, and I don't do heights. So Brittany finally taught me to go in on it, which I never wanted to go. So we go up, and just going up the steps, I'm scared, because it's so high. So we finally get up there, and the way it's set up is, you sit on a big tube, and you're kind of facing each other, and it sends you down this little tunnel, and then drops you into the big toilet. So being that you got to face each other, one person's going forward, and the other person has to go backwards where they can't see. So, me and the tough older brother, guess who sat backwards? Brittany. And we're going down this little tunnel, and it's dark, and I can see, and then I see the drop, and I'm like, oh my God, Brittany, it just drops. We can't do this. And I'm freaking out, and she can't even see. And she looks, and she just smiles and shakes her head. And then, then we drop, we do the ride. And of course, we were fine, and it was fun, and we laughed. And it's just a great memory of her shoving her older brother up. So, yeah. And then 2007, Britt had the privilege to move to Spain with our dad and our stepmother, Noah, and our other sister, Iana, who's here in the front row. And she lived there for a while, and eventually she came back to Maryland to finish school, and she lived with Aunt Joan and Uncle Carlton. And she graduated from Cott. I know it sounds weird saying Uncle Carlton. I called him Cott because I couldn't say Carlton when I was young. So I said Cotton, and then it became Cott. Not even Uncle Cott. So, but yeah, she came back to finish school. She graduated from Old Mill High School in 2009. Same high school as me. Go Patriots.
Let's go.
Not long after graduating, Brittany met Kenneth. A lot of people also know him as Skeet. And eventually they began their own family when they had their son SJ in 2012. And a few years later they had their daughter Boo, Kendall, in 2015. And both kids are amazing little kids. I think it goes without saying that, these kids were Brittany's heart. She was an amazing mother. I always liked, there was actually a picture of them having a tea party. One of my things I always liked with Brittany was she would have a tea party with the girls, and it wasn't, like an imaginary tea party. Brittany was making real tea, with cream and sugar, real pastries, and they were having a real party. And I was like, oh, that's nice. More dishes to clean. Brittany always loved to draw from the time she was little to the time she was grown. She was really good at it. There was a couple instances for our kids' birthday party. She would, make big posters for them, a unicorn for my daughter's birthday, and it was beautiful. She really liked to cook. She was really good at that. She actually gave a lot of credit to that Skeet's mom, Top. Every time we eat something, I'm like, this is amazing. She's like, Top's recipe. One of my favorite things was her barbecue ribs and seafood salad. It was amazing. And my son didn't want me to tell everybody, but he said his favorite thing was her homemade funnel cake. Because she was the only one that made homemade funnel cake. Perfectly. Brittany spent most of her career in the food industry, where she started out as a server and eventually became a rock star bartender. I always thought it was really cool living in the house with a good cook and a bartender. Always had food and drink ready. So yeah, pretty much, Brittany had a heart of gold. A little piece of me died with Brittany, and we'll never get that back. I do want to wrap things up. I tried to not make this too much of a sorrow thing. Brittany wouldn't want that, but, I do want to finish up by saying that, she wasn't just my sister, but she was also one of my best friends, and I will miss her dearly every day, for the rest of my life, every day.
Jesus.
Life will never be the same without her. No moment will be as special without her. I hope with every part of me that there is some sort of afterlife. I can see my sister again. And the day can't come fast enough. Until then, rest in peace, baby sis. I love you with all my heart. And thank you again, everybody.
Amen.